Okay, so we looked at A, T, and I, and the last one we'll look at is N and D, and that is on the far right. N and D stands for neat or dilute. So if it's an N for neat, that means the oil can be used directly. So just as I put the lime in the water, or just as I put the lavender directly on my hands, that's how an oil can be used if it's N or neat. That means it can be used directly. The other option is D, and D means that the oil has to be diluted in order for it to be used. So there's a couple ways that an oil can be diluted. It can be diluted for internal use or topical use. Now if it's going to be for internal use, make sure that it has the supplemental facts label on it. And then if the oil has a supplemental facts on it, that means the oil can be used and is safe for internal usage. So one way that you can dilute an oil for internal usage is to put a couple drops of the oil in a glass of milk. So remember, for neat, it could be put in water. If it has to be diluted, then you can put it in milk. Another way that an oil can be used internally, diluted, is to be used with doTERRA veggie caps. So you can put a couple drops of the oil in a veggie cap, and you can fill the rest of the veggie cap up with the fractionated coconut oil, and then you can take that with either water or milk. It wouldn't matter, but that way it would be diluted when you take it internally. If you're going to dilute an oil that would be used topically, then you could use doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil. So with this, you'd put some coconut oil in your hand, and then you could put a couple drops of your hot oil, like cinnamon bark would be one example of this. If you look cinnamon bark up in the PDF, it would be D for dilute, and then you would rub that around in your hands, and then you could apply that to wherever you would apply the oil. The other option that you could use is doTERRA's lotion, and this is not quite as oily as the coconut oil, and then this could be used in the same way. So you could squeeze some of this on your hand and then put a couple drops of the oil in your hand, then you could rub it around, and then you could apply that to wherever you would want the oil applied. So that would be a couple ways that the oil could be diluted. So that is N and D.